Hi, I'm Rick Williams.
And I'm Melissa McGee. Tonight on Visions 2013.
Hello everyone, my name is Jamira Burley.
She's just 23 with a backstory as dramatic as her dreams.
Every shoe tells a story.
Two Camden brothers take a step back in time.
If you was anybody in the music business, you came through here.
And we walk down memory lane as the old Uptown Theater undergoes a revival.
Action!
Also, meet one of the world's only blind filmmakers. It's a special Visions 2013 starting right now.
Hello everyone and welcome to Visions 2013. It's February, African American History Month.
That's right, and we are inside the historic Freedom Theater on North Broad Street in Philadelphia, one of the oldest black theaters in the nation.
And our first story could very well be the stuff of stage and film.
That's right, Tamla Edwards has this incredible up from the bootstraps tale.
On any given day, you may find Jamira Burley urging young people to engage in politics.
The earlier you get involved, the likelihood you'll stay involved throughout your lifetime.
Planning a summer internship program to encourage businesses to hire teens.
We have to make the ask and see what happens.
And working with the health department on their anti-obesity campaign.
We would want to target high school students.
At just 23 years old, she holds the lofty title of Executive Director of the Philadelphia Youth Commission. Her success at such a young age is impressive enough, but her path to get here makes it even more so.
If I was to think back to like my earliest childhood memory, it would be 5 or 6 years old in a courtroom as my two oldest brothers, who were 16 and 15 at the time, they were both on trial for murder.
Jamira is the 11th child in a family of 16, the first to graduate high school, the first to get a college degree.
If I had met you at 13, what do you think people would have thought your future was?
You would have assumed that I would have been running on the same path as my brothers, that I would have gotten locked up, or that I would have gotten shot, or that I would have got pregnant at a very young age.
But tragedy turned her life around. In 2005, her father was arrested for murder. That same year, her brother Andre was killed by a friend. Of all her siblings, Andre was the one she was closest to.
He was really that person, kind of taught me how to ride a bike, walked me to school, helped me tie my shoes.
Jamira started getting in fights in school. Her principal and counselor at Overbrook High issued a challenge.
You can either, again, be bitter or you can do something about it. And so that made me go home and kind of think about, well, what could I as a young person do?
She came up with the Panther Peace Corps, a peer mediation group that trains students on how to settle conflict without violence.
So don't just expel them, let's figure out how to do this.
Exactly, so whether that's making them do community service, making them write a letter of apology.
Violent incidents at Overbrook High dropped more than 20%. The program was so successful, the state gave her, an 11th grade student, a $50,000 grant to implement it in the district's 10 most dangerous schools. And she got involved in student government.
After a few years, you want to come back, Jamira.
That's where she met Donna Frisbee Greenwood, the woman who would become her mentor.
I stood up at the first meeting for citywide student government and I said, I don't understand why we're not focusing on violence in Philadelphia schools. And she was like, well, since you think we need to have a committee, you should probably chair that committee. And so people continue to challenge me.
And Jamira plans to continue rising to the challenge.
Because of the adversities that I overcome, I have an insight into the most pressing issues that are facing Philadelphia youth. So how can I now utilize that information, the skills that I learned at college, back to my community, make it better? The more you speak out and let your voices be heard, the more you can be involved in the process. So never feel like you're too young to get engaged.
Look for that young lady to run for office one day.
That's for sure. For now, though, she plans to go back to school to pursue her master's degree.
And if you want to make a difference in the lives of young people, Jamira has a challenge for you. She says, be a mentor.
That's right. For her, having a mentor was key, but hundreds of young women have found their sense of self at Evalure House.
It's a Philly nonprofit with a mission of transforming at-risk girls of color into strong and confident women.
Okay, ladies.
Girls in an Evalure House workshop learn everything from how to manage their time and their budget,
Avoid compulsive purchases,
to how to dress professionally, think critically, and write a resume.
These are things you have to think about.
When we say etiquette to the girls, they say, "Etta what?"
Really?
So we took and put a hip spin on some of those good things that we had growing up that made us such fabulous women.
Executive Director Cheryl Ann Watlington is a child model turned advertising executive and fashion and beauty journalist. Strong, confident, beautiful.
Exactly.
She founded Evalure House in 2004 to motivate teen girls of color to excel.
Not just be ordinary, but extraordinary.
Evalua House has now graduated more than 700 girls, and Watlington says every one of them has graduated high school and gone on to college.
And it helped me just feel like just a better person than before. I just didn't see myself as special or anything.
16-year-old Egypt now wants to be a veterinarian.
I want to become a doctor.
And 17-year-old Dominique Holt has dreams of being a surgeon.
We learned a lot of networking skills, and I've realized that that's one of the most important parts of just the career process.
Workshops run 8 and 12 weeks and are held primarily at Pierce College, so the girls are exposed to a university setting.
I envision the next female president of the United States. Our whole idea is for girls to dream big and to learn how to live life fearlessly.
The spring workshop starts March 4th and registration is open now.
The program is free for families who meet the income requirement.
And to give those girls some added inspiration, we thought we'd send our reporters out to talk to already successful business leaders.
And we start with Vernon Odom, and a Vietnam vet who's parlayed his war experience into a post-military career.
1, 2, 3, 4, United States Marine Corps, hoorah!
Meet Sergeant Ben Alston, a veteran soldier who served in the Army back in 1978. More than 3 decades later, he started collecting Army-based memorabilia.
I started grabbing everything, and I said, hey, if I like it, I guess other military people would like it.
For many of his customers, it's all about the memories.
We hear so many stories. We welcome the veterans to tell the stories.
Michael Worrell, a soldier back from a recent mission in Afghanistan, says he walked by Sergeant Ben's and felt an instant connection.
Everything, like the memorabilia and stuff like that, it's just very cool.
They just get so excited. They see things that they haven't seen in years.
Thank you for owning this store.
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming in.
On Mount Ephraim Avenue in Camden, there's a giant sneaker hanging above a store, a sneaker handle on the door.
What do we have here?
How are you? Inside, there's hundreds of shoes, some worn and signed by the biggest names in the game, like Magic Johnson and Moses Malone.
Oh, this is Larry Bird.
Collecting them is a lifelong passion of brothers Byron and Darian Gans, a.k.a. the Shoe Kings.
Every shoe tells a story. Every artifact you see here tells a story.
While the front of the store is filled with finds,
where have you taken me now?
It's the back room that holds the premium collection. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar endorsed Adidas, the German-made Alessi shoe backed by Mo Cheeks.
Everybody is from Run DMC.
Yeah.
It's the original shell top Adidas.
My Adidas.
Yeah, this is it.
Byron has about 1,200 pairs in his collection. Darian boasts even more. Their dream is to design and manufacture their own line.
So your mother,
yes,
is where it all started.
Her mother was Elizabeth Betty Hinton, the family matriarch behind that sweet smell in the heart of Northern Liberties.
She was an original domestic goddess.
Her baked from scratch recipes are the inspiration for Brown Betty Dessert Boutique.
When she baked, she didn't just bake a couple of cupcakes. She baked, 2 cakes at a time, 2 pies.
Granddaughter Norinda is the marketing expert.
Get that nice and fluffy.
Daughter Linda is the baking whiz.
Don't want to make any mistakes with Brown Betty.
Just like Betty did back in the day, Linda bakes at night after working all day.
And how many sticks of butter?
That's 4 sticks.
4 sticks. I felt my pants getting tight.
Mom and daughter just released a cookbook as well. Along with the recipes, there's a collection of stories that Betty used to tell at family gatherings.
That's what we need to bring back, families coming together more often.
Food is such a central part of that.
It is.
So good. I gotta get another one.
Those cupcakes are so good. You can't go wrong with any one of those.
Delicious. Well, when Visions comes back...
Are you beautiful?
Yeah! Nearly half a century after opening its doors, Freedom Theater is embarking on a new mission.
It is going to be a site on Broad Street.
And how a former football player is building up his hometown.
Sponsored by Penn Medicine and the Roberts Proton Therapy Center.
Welcome back to Visions 2013, and we're in the balcony of the Freedom Theater in Philadelphia, one of the nation's oldest black theaters.
46 years ago, many actors, writers, and directors honed their craft here. And today, Freedom Theater is working to launch a new type of star.
That's right. It's part of a North Broad Street revival.
This was our original lobby.
Freedom Theater has long been known for training some of the best in the business, from playwright August Wilson to actress Erica Alexander and Boys to Men singer Wanya Morris.
Let's warm up. Are you beautiful? Yeah!
But nearly a half-century after opening its doors, Freedom is now focusing more on after-school programs that help teenagers build confidence.
When they walk in the building, they have a password.
Password!
I reset myself!
You're beautiful!
Imagine that impact of having that said to you every day for years.
Executive Director Sandra Houghton says, while many know Freedom for its plays, the theater wants to make arts education its priority.
We teach them how to talk to people, how to look people in the eye, but we also teach them how to audition for colleges. We use theater as a way to prepare for life.
If you head about a mile north on Broad Street, you'll see the legendary Uptown Theater in the midst of reconstruction. The once lavish Art Deco building was built back in 1929 as a place for entertainment for the nouveau riche.
We used to have lines lined up here, just waiting to go into the theater.
Earl Young spent much of his youth here, first as a fan of the big acts that performed, then on stage as drummer for the disco band The Tramps, and house drummer for Uptown.
Oh, everybody came through here. If you was anybody in the music business, you came through here. We had the Motown Review came in with the Supremes, Temptations, the Four Tops, everybody.
Uptown shut down in 1991. Today, Young is working with the Uptown Entertainment and Development Corporation to restore it as both an architectural and cultural gem.
Inside will be activities that are new, innovative, but also can attract a wide audience from the region.
The corporation already raised millions of dollars to create studio space in the theater. Now they need $5 million more to renovate the auditorium and give Uptown a fresh start.
What is important is that we keep it, the way in which you remembered it.
Sean Bullard is also working to bring new life to the neighborhood. The former Temple football player turned real estate developer is planning a 19-unit upscale apartment project on the same block as Uptown.
It's called The Hype, and this is around Broad and Susquehanna. It is going to be a site on Broad Street.
Bullard's real estate drive began nearly a decade ago when he heard friends at Temple talking about the school's student housing shortage.
A light bulb went off in my head, and I looked at the area. I was like, oh, you put the two together, you fix up a house, and it's right next to college.
The senior business major started his own real estate company and continued running it even while doing a short stint with the San Diego Chargers.
Real estate was, to me, a business that I could be my own boss. I could possibly be successful in.
Now he's doing rehabs and new construction and manages the properties as well.
This is one of my latest projects. This is called the Manhattan.
Building up his business and his community at the same time.
I see the area getting very strong, and I'm very proud of the community. I'm very proud of all the development, being a part of it. It's a lot done around here still. So yeah, this is where we're staying for a while.
Well, in April, Freedom Theater celebrates Founders Day, and for the anniversary, the organization will release its new strategic plan.
When Visions 2013 comes back,
my story is unique.
You may remember her as the mayor of Camden, but did you know Gwen Faison was one of thousands of African-American women who played a role in World War II?
They helped change America.
And meet Elizabeth Harrington. She's 15 years old and born blind, but has a vision for making movies.
Action!
Welcome back to Visions 2013. You've seen Rosie the Riveter, the iconic character who represented women working in factories while the men were off fighting World War II.
Show off. But did you know hundreds of thousands of those women were African Americans?
As Shirlene Alicat reports, a documentary is now in the works to tell their story.
Those were the days.
Gwen Faison was 18 years old when she left her segregated hometown of Clinton, North Carolina for Camden, New Jersey and work at the RCA factory.
It was a great secret, but I can remember, and can I remember, we were building electronic parts for the Navy.
Her math skills got her promoted and she became the only black supervisor in the plant, a position that didn't sit well with all the women she was overseeing.
Sometimes we women love each other, sometimes we don't love each other like we should love each other. You understand what I mean?
They helped change America.
Faison's is one of a dozen stories Greg Cook is uncovering in a documentary he calls Invisible Warriors, African American Women in World War II.
Why do you think people should watch this?
The long-term goal is to increase awareness of what these women did. These women were part of the greatest generation.
His mother was one of them.
Thank you, dear Heavenly Father.
Alice Amaro was another. She was holding 2 jobs as a nanny and a shop window decorator when war broke out and work opened up for women.
If you wanted to do the work, you had a job.
She inspected 30mm shells at Frankfurt Arsenal before they were shipped to soldiers overseas, then took a job at Fort Mifflin.
Better hours and more work.
There she was an ordnance handler, installing timers on heavy weapons.
If you're running your mouth and not paying attention, you could put that on the timer on too tight and it would blow up.
They are our mothers, our grandmothers, our great-grandmothers. And what they gained from this was a lifetime of self-confidence. We can do, like, you know.
Alice Amaro married and raised 6 children while working full-time her whole life.
1, 2, 3.
Faison, now 88, married her childhood sweetheart, had 3 kids, and worked more than 4 decades at RCA and GTE.
That's when I was sworn in.
Then she went into politics, becoming mayor of Camden at age 74. She credits the war work with preparing her for anything.
But it was proven once they put the women in charge, we were good.
Words are precious.
Cook, a college writing professor, hopes to premiere the documentary next February, then donate it for education.
They were the forerunners of breaking down gender and racial barriers. Women today, black and white, stand on the shoulders of these women, these Rosie the Riveters.
Greg Cook has launched a Kickstarter campaign to raise money to finish his project.
And you can learn more at InvisibleWarriorsFilm.com.
Now from a documentary about women whose contributions the world didn't see to a young movie maker who can't see.
Kenneth Moulton has the inspiring story of this teenager believed to be the world's only blind filmmaker.
Everybody ready, guys?
15-year-old Elizabeth Harrington was born with cerebral palsy and no eyes. But when it comes to making movies, she has a vision.
Action!
Filmmakers need to see. How do you do it?
It's hard to explain, but I can tell like where they are in this stage. Like if they're stage right, stage left, or downstage, and I can also tell if you're a good actor or not. I wasn't really hearing the emotion.
Elizabeth was discovered by feature film producer Tim Green, who makes movies for kids by kids.
I'm sort of like the Walt Disney of hip-hop, where my films are no guns, no cursing, but they're fun.
Elizabeth started working with Green when she was 9 years old, and now she has a children's film and a co-director credit under her belt.
That's how you do it.
Okay,
good job.
Her latest and favorite project is called From Tragedy to Triumph, the story of a community who turned an abandoned supermarket and a crime-infested neighborhood into a community hub.
Why did you want to do this?
I wanted to do this because I want to inspire kids. I like that. I like that. That's tight. I get up in the morning, I say to myself, I'm going to conquer any challenges that come my way. I don't care what it is.
Elizabeth is hoping for a scholarship to Temple University, where she plans to major in acting, then score a role in a Disney show.
How far do you want to go?